morning, everyone, and welcome to the Iowa 911 Communications Council meeting for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. From everyone in the room, as well as those joining us virtually. Kara, our secretary, is joining us virtually today. Kara, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Morning. Could you
Good
give
morning.
us a roll call, please?
Sure. Chris Jasper,
Jasper's here.
Jeff Miller,
Jim Shawley sitting in for Jeff Miller today.
all right, Jim Shelley, thank you. Shane McSheehy, Mike Bryant,
Mike Bryant is here.
okay, Eric Daw, or Tom Berger.
No Eric Daw, but Jeff Chapman and Clinton.
Okay.
Tom Berger's here.
Okay. Lynn Tazioli,
Lynn is here.
Josh Duden,
Josh is here.
Rob Dennert,
Here.
Adam Welp,
Adam Welp's here.
all right, Tom Weevil. You have a quorum, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Just before we get started, I'd just like to mention, I'm sure all of you have thought of this morning, but just asking everyone to remember the events that happened 24 years ago. A lot of us were in this business then, some of us weren't. I was, and it's a day I'll never forget, but I'm just asking, if you haven't already, to think of the brothers and sister first responders, as well as so many others that we lost that terrible morning, and keep them in your hearts and prayers, as I'm sure their loss, even though 24 years ago, is still as bitter as it was back then. So thank you. Could I please get a motion to approve today's agenda?
Jasper, motion.
Thank you. I have a second.
Lynn will second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. The motion carries. And could I get an approval of the August 14th, 2025 minutes?
Jasper, motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Lynn will second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
And same sign. Motion carries. Blake, do we have a report?
Just a second, I'll put my slides up. Right, not a large update, but a couple things to highlight. Just as a reminder, with Senate File 659, nothing new as far as financials or the plan or what that looks like, just really an update on the MOU process. At this point, we've received 27 notices of folks that are interested in signing an MOU, and 13 of those have been signed. And again, that's just to hopefully alleviate the administrative burden that allows us to withhold that funding on the front end versus an invoice and remittance process. So if you are still interested as a county service board, you can scan that QR code and it takes you to the form that just indicates that you're interested in that MOU process. Just earlier today, Comtech sent out a couple opportunities for PSAPs and call handling providers to have a webinar learning session that will be held September 23rd and 25th, really on more of a technical side of what it'll take to make sure that when we move the data centers, that everything is seamless for your PSAP. So there is a couple keystroke changes that need to happen at each PSAP through the call handling vendor. So that webinar information has been sent out again just earlier today, and really more important for the call handling providers, but also the PSAPs as well to attend. If at least one of those will be recorded. So if you can't attend either of them, of course, it'll be available to view after the fact. We did send out the notifications that annual forms are due. Most of those are deadlines are January 1st, so still have a fair amount of time, but please do pay attention to that email and that process and get those forms in as soon as you can. Update on GIS grants. The month of August, we had 100%. Oops, I left my placeholder in there for the amount that we've spent so far on FY 2026. But so far, through 2 months of the fiscal year, all counties have met the benchmarks. We have not done payments yet for 2026 for the first quarter. So at this point, those X's are zeros. My apologies. Again, we do those payouts at the end of the quarter. So the next month, we'll be doing that. You do have 2 training fund applications for approval on today's agenda. The NINA Fall Conference and the APCO Fall Conference. You can see those amounts there. The applications will be put up on the screen as we're discussing those. Also, we still have a number of children's activity books that are available for counties. If you have any fairs or festivals coming up that you want to hand those out to promote 911 and public education, again, scan the QR code and you can request those activity books. That concludes my update. Are there any questions for me before I turn it over to Zetron for an update on shared services? Hearing none. Lynn, Warren, are you on from Zetron?
Yes, I am. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Sure can. Go ahead.
Yep, just a really quick update. Not much has changed. We're still working on the Fremont County deployment underway. Next slide. No changes in the state map. Still 83 PSAPs deployed with 1 coming up. Next slide. Reminder, the training portal is available to everyone. It's not just for shared services PSAPs. We have new stats there for a number of users, etc., and courses. And next slide. And of course, if you're interested in being on a distribution list for a newsletter, just send an email to lynn.warren@zetron.com. And I think that's it, unless there's questions.
All right. Any questions for Lynn or myself? Hearing none, I will turn back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. We do have a couple training fund requests. We have the NINA Fall Conference, Getting Beyond the Busy, request for $5,000, as well as an APCO Fall Conference request. Multiple sessions, well, since multiple sessions, I don't know what it's actually called, but from Brian and Brian Associates, and the ask there is $2,400. Is anyone from NINA wish to speak on their request?
Certainly I can. So for our fall conference, we're actually going to do 3 sessions. Blake's going to do an update in the morning. Pottawatomie County is going to come in and do a presentation on their 3 tornadoes that hit in one day and how it affected their dispatch center. And then in the afternoon, we have Patty Hendrickson coming in. For those that attended the Homeland Security Emergency Management Conference last year or the year before, Patty was one of the speakers. She's a motivational speaker and speaks on leadership. So she's going to do a session called Getting Beyond the Busy, Engaging Yourself and Those You Impact. So just requesting the $5,000 for travel and her fee for the afternoon session. And I will abstain from this vote also, sir.
Okay, I couldn't hear the last there. Okay, all right. All right, thank you. Any questions about that, first of all? All right, I think we can put these together. Does anyone want to speak on the APCO $2,400 ask?
Yeah, I can speak on that, Chair. Our speaker is Martha Bryan with Bryan and Bryan Associates, and she has 4 different topics there, which she's going to talk on throughout the day. Her speaker fee is $1,800. We're anticipating $400 for airfare and then another $200 for hotel lodging. So that's why our ask is $2,400.
Okay. And as usual, our normal operating procedures that we do approve these funds for both NINA and APCO conference, but just to make it official, we'd like to bring it to a vote. Would anyone wish to make a motion to approve these 2 requests? Anybody at all?
Do the motion.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Berger will second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify
I'm also going to abstain, Chair, just for
Okay. Thank you.
And Lynn will also abstain.
Okay. All right. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. And the motion carries. Okay. Do we have any technical advisories today? Okay, hearing none, then we'll get an update on the Iowa statewide interoperable communication systems for Ms. Nichols.
Thank you, Chair. No real updates on the system. It seems to be running smoothly. We have some new users coming on and new counties building some infrastructure. If anyone's interested in that, they can give me or the system administrators a call. I won't go through all of those. We do have a communications unit leader course. I know I've talked about it, but it will be held in Council Bluffs, September 22nd. 19 students registered. And then that will also be training COM-L instructors, one from Iowa, and we also have a couple from neighboring states who are going to join us. And so we're excited to be able to get a few state-sponsored instructors through that course. There's a new process that CISA has for creating instructors. I have been attending some Nick Swick community meetings. Those are virtual because of the way that we're allowed to meet now, and those have been helpful. So we're just trying to keep those meeting opportunities open, and we're sharing a lot of information. And so I just wanted to let this group know that there are a lot of different interoperable applications, I'll say, out there. And so if you are hearing about those and you're confused about which ones you might want to try out or what you should choose because all these vendors are knocking at your door, that's because technology is evolving and changing, and there are a lot of them out there. So just know that if you have any questions, I don't have necessarily all the answers, but I have heard about some of these things, and I know some people that have implemented possibly maybe what you have questions about. So if you reach out to me, maybe I could point you in the direction of someone who's utilized something that you've heard about. So that's really all I have to say about that. And then the last thing I want to let everyone know is you've heard me talk about the IMED or REM CDP project. That grant was a two-year grant. Supposed to end the end of this month. I did ask for a 6-month extension, and that was granted. So though the funds are paused, frozen, we can't draw down on the money, we did get a 6-month extension through March of next year. So we'll just keep hoping that at some point we can get those funds. And don't forget that if you're on an ISICS board committee, to reapply to that committee so we can reappoint committee members for next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? All right, thank you. All right, now can we get an update from U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, Mr. Myers?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the time as always to speak to the 911 Communications Council. So been a busy month at CISA. First of all, we have a new product that hit the streets a few weeks ago. It is a 2-part delivery, and it is a software acquisition guide and tool for government agencies. We've released previous tools like this that were focused on business and industry. This one is keyed in towards government agencies. The purpose of this document is to build on existing guidance that addresses the 4 phases of software ownership. Of course, there's the development, how they're distributed through supply chains, deployment, and then vulnerability management that come into play as well. The focus of this document for those of us in the government space is procurement and acquisitions, so that customers understand how they can indicate that cybersecurity is a key consideration for their agency. As a part of this acquisition guide, there is also a tool that was released that's designed to streamline the navigation through the guide. The guide itself is fairly expansive, and the tool is designed to distill it down to some of the key parts and almost to serve as a checklist. And what that does, it allows users to bring in, export, print, customized summaries of their own responses and what's important to them. And it also gives a streamlined methodology for collaborating with your CISOs, CIOs, and other key decision makers within your agency. That decision-making process tends to vary from agency to agency, so there's some flexibility built into this tool as well. Now, what all this boils down to is stronger due diligence, more secure procurement outcomes. You can find this tool linked at the shortened link below, go.dhs.gov/3bboyedward, and that will take you right to that. Next slide, we have a new cybersecurity inventory guidance document that came out. This is geared towards your operational technology, which is very, very prominent in our communication systems. Anything you have that takes, receives 911 calls, dispatches via radio, that's considered operational technology. And this inventory guidance is designed to help owners and operators develop a systematic approach for creating and maintaining an asset inventory. That is really essential for a few things. You want to make sure, number one, you understand what you have so you can secure it. Number two, so that you can reduce the risks of incidents. And then number three, ensuring that you have continuity of your mission and services if something were to break. The benefit of this guidance is that it allows you to enhance your security posture, understand what you have so you can improve maintenance and reliability capabilities of that equipment, and then also ensure that you have safety and resilience built into your environment, as in if you have one thing go down, what is there to pick up the slack in the loss of that equipment. That is also linked via the shortened link at the bottom of the slide, go.dhs.gov/lowercase-ii-D. Next up, the technical assistance request period is opening up. This will be October 2025, so it starts in a few weeks. I would say that if you have any ideas for things you may want or need, please reach out to Swick Nichols and then also coordinate with Blake DeRushi on things you may have an interest in. The focus of the request period here is going to be governance, standard operating procedures, technology, training and exercises, and usage. And a key thing here is instructor evaluation and state-sponsored courses. We want to use this as an opportunity to enhance the capabilities of states with respect to their instructor cadres and expand that out with them so that there's more avenues for delivering courses such as your communications unit leader in the future. Again, this is also going to focus on more traditionally delivered courses. If no instructors are available, we have a handful of federal personnel that can still deliver these courses or facilitate other types of workshops you may have an interest in. The catalog is fairly extensive. It's still 60-some pages in length. There's something in there for everybody, so please coordinate with Swick Nichols and Blake DeRushi on anything you may have an idea of so that we can get in touch and start sorting through what that may look like. Last slide for the day, regional news of note. I do want to point out that the Red River Commune Boot Camp is still scheduled to take place October 12th through the 17th. That'll be in Durant, Oklahoma. And again, if you have potential new instructors, there's an opportunity for them to get their teaching credentials and for normal trainees to attend the courses listed below. And then it's followed by a one-day communications exercise on the back end of it. That's all I have for the day, Mr. Chair. I can go ahead and take any questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, any legislative issues anyone wishes to discuss? Okay, hearing none, move to information sharing by council members. I'll start that off. It was a little late to get it on the agenda, but I did reach out to Windstream, Kinetic Business, and related companies, see if we could get someone to attend this meeting to talk about some of the concerns that have been voiced in this meeting, dealing specifically with contracts, renewals, new contracts, old contracts, billing in general. And I have gotten a reply from the company. Is there someone online right now that can speak on these on the behalf of Windstream Kinetic Business?
Yes, this is Cody Figgins, operations manager here in South Central Iowa. We have Trent Fellers, VP of State Government Affairs, Jason Horn. He's our E911 administrator, and Brian Klein, our customer development manager. So we should be able to help with any questions.
Okay, I think what I had asked about, and I know I'm not alone in that there's been some confusion, maybe some frustration over the contracts that are evidently expiring and asking for renewal, a lot of us aren't able to put our hands on the contracts that are expiring, giving us sort of kind of behind the eight ball a little bit on what we're doing going forward with the new contract. Can you address what the issues might be in that we cannot get copies of expiring or expired contracts?
Brian, do you have any insight on this?
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I had to switch my mic. I apologize. Yeah, so I've been working with you guys for quite some time, at least trying to get in front of this issue. So there's been numerous mergers throughout time between Windstream and companies you've dealt with. I have forwarded you all the documentation I am able to pull up. There was a time when Windstream / Kinetic, I'm sorry? Okay, that we not necessarily needed a contract for services. But as I've explained to you over the last month or so, that Windstream has recently merged or acquired by a publicly held company, Unity. And at this point, we're looking to get everyone under contract.
Okay, so going back to the contracts, then you are not able to provide, in many cases, a contract that has expired or is expiring. Is that correct?
I have forwarded you every contract I have, or to someone in your company.
Okay, because I don't want to talk just about Iowa County, but if you'll go back to the emails that we've had a string of, I'm still waiting for that to arrive in my inbox. But I like I said, I know that I'm not alone in that, and that a lot of people have asked for contracts and have not gotten them. So I'm assuming that if we can't get a copy of a contract, it's because the new company simply doesn't have it in their hands. Is that a correct assessment?
That's pretty fair to say. Again, I've dug up and sent, and I will be glad to do it for you again, every documentation I was able to pull up.
There's one question in the chat, and it looks like it was already addressed, but just for those that aren't looking at the webinar, the question was, how would a PSAP work with Windstream to confirm the 911 circuits they are paying for? I have had multiple new bills arise and delinquent notices. All have been resolved through a few fights. I just have a hard time paying for services when there is a questionable or uncertainty behind it. Trent, I see you responded online. Do you want to address that over the phone too?
Yeah, if any of the PSAPs have questions about billing and are having trouble navigating through the company, I am happy to direct them to the right people. And I put my email in the chat, and they can reach out to me, and I'll be happy to be their air traffic controller to the right people.
And I would just like to add to what Trent is saying. This is Steve Bogdan. I'm also with Windstream. If the PSAP customers are having any sort of issue with the circuit, or just any kind of questions on their account, I would encourage them to call the 800 number on their invoice to at least start the process and get the dialogue going. And they will assist to the best of their ability. And if they need to, they will bring in other groups to assist with any kind of open questions that they're not sure how to answer.
Also, once any ticket is open, I recommend that you do forward it to me. This way I can track it. I'm a second pair of eyes watching it. And if it needs to be escalated, I could do it at that time.
Okay. And I'm sure you realize, and this is a problem that I've seen in our PSAP, is that when you get an invoice that doesn't really have a description on what's being paid for, it basically meets with a refusal to be paid by our auditors, because they must be itemized. Otherwise, we don't know that we're paying a legitimate bill. And so I'm sure you understand that. And that sometimes is the issue that we have, is that the bills don't have a description of exactly what it is the bill is for. So just throwing that out there, if there's any way that you as a company can maybe better defined the bills and the invoices, that would go a long way in getting those bills paid if indeed counties or cities owe them.
Another suggestion I can make is I can give you guys access to the portal. So you can be able to pull up each account one by one and see exactly what's in there. I can also prepare CSRs for you to give you a full breakdown per account.
Okay, I'm sure that'd be very helpful. Okay.
Hey
anybody-
guys, this is Steph DeVault from the Iowa Communications Network. I have worked with Steve and Jason before. I wanted to confirm that I know someone had just previously said that they can look at their invoices and they can call for service. I want to be clear that what is on the invoice is not a typical Kinetic business service network operations center, because there is a 911 specialty PSAP network operations center phone number and escalation that those PSAPs should be calling. So I would, if these folks don't have that, if you could please send that information to Blake and Mr. Chair, that would be fantastic, because we don't want these PSAPs having issues where if they're dialing to get service or support, excuse me, that they're going in with every other business service versus a 911 PSAP that might be having issues. So if you guys don't have that, or if you don't have Blake's information, if you want to send it to me, you guys know me. I want to make sure that I also have the most updated knock escalation for my team as well. That would be fantastic. Another thing too that I know that Brian had said about the Unity migration with Windstream, we actually met as an organization, my executive director and myself and my supervisor last week with the Windstream SLED team. And we were told that at this time, there is no planned date time for entity name migration, tax IDs or federal ID numbers that are changing, that both organizations are still separately working and now are not finally merged yet. Everybody does have the Unity emails and the Windstream emails, and they're being merged, but we are being told that they are two separate silos and that the merger transaction has not fully gone through yet. And the reason why I say that is because I believe Brian or Cody may have said that the issue with these contracts is due to Unity. So I was hoping that someone could clarify that comment when us at the Iowa Communications Network are being told that we are working as two separate, or they are two separate silos at this time. I'll take that as we don't know. Another point too is I know that some of these PSAPs have those old school 4-port wire connections that are legacy TDM, or not TDM, but are older. Are you also stating that those are needing to be renewed? And if so, are you renewing them, or are you following any FCC issues or recommendations? I'll take that as we might need to take this as a takeaway and report back to the chair and Blake.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right. Any clarifications or comments from Windstream, Kinetic, and related?
I will continue to dig for you, see what else I can find, and send it to you directly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and if there's other issues that weren't discussed, in this meeting, you have my email. Please feel free to reach out. And Steve's as well. Steve's is there as well.
Yeah, again, just for those not looking at the chat, There's a couple messages just to get email contact information exchanged, phone number exchange. So there's a couple email addresses in there, and then a note if there's any 911 impacts for service. The knock number for Windstream Unity is 800-200-1989, option 3.
All right.
Yeah, and thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, any other information sharing by council members? Okay, hearing none. I don't have any unfinished business or new business or travel requests. Do we have any business from the floor from folks in the room? Any business from the floor for those joining us virtually?
One more comment to capture for the record.
Okay.
This goes back a ways. I think it was at the tail end of my briefing. Clayton County asked, this is a random question, but are there any records retention requirements related to 911 documents, surcharge remits, et cetera? Several coordinators have been asking this question of each other. So in general, what we as a department generally recommend is 5 years. If you look at various guidance documents out there, it really depends on what the program is, what the source of the funding might be. There's not really one specific answer that just encompasses, the totality of that answer. So anywhere from 3 to 10 years is what you'll see out there. And there's guidance out there from ISAC, the League of Cities, the Attorney General's office. And again, it really just depends on what exactly you're looking to retain. The one thing in administrative rule that I'll point out is, and it's a little bit antiquated language, and it's something we're going to clean up as part of our red tape rules review that I'll talk about more here in the next month or two, is related to 911. And it talks about a call detail recorder, not really a logging recorder, but just like logging that the call happened. And the requirement there is 1 year. What we're looking to do with our red tape rules review is also to extend that to the logging recorder itself to make it 1 year minimum retention. So again, that's some future forward information. But as far as just documentation, our general guidance is 5 years. But again, go check the source of what it is you're looking to retain.
All right. Any other business from the floor? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Jasper, a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Burger, second.
Thank you. All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Hi.
All right, and we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sheriff.